Hey, Mavs fans, welcome into All Things Mavs. Listen, I obviously did not think this was going to be my first live stream on the channel, but here we are. I'm going to be breaking down the James Harden trade. Now, as you guys can probably tell by the quality of the camera and everything else that's going on, this is not my normal setup. I will not have this for whenever I have my next live stream, but I had to go live as soon as possible. So I'm clearly just on my webcam talking straight to you guys, my instant reaction to this crazy James Harden trade that is literally unfolding before our eyes. Get popping in the live chat. Say what's up to me. Let me know that you are here and you're tuned in. Let me know that you can actually hear me talk right now because I literally have no idea what this streaming is like because I've never done it before on this channel. Obviously, I'll have a better setup next time I go live, but here we are. James Harden traded from the Houston Rockets to the Brooklyn Nets. I'm going to get the entire trade details down for you right now. Matt, I see you in the chat. Lucky, Flame, Alan, Josh, Sports Central, Abdullah, Jeremy, the big dog, Antonio. I see all you guys in the live chat. I appreciate all y'all. I'm going to talk about how this trade affects the Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to talk about how it affects the entire league, and we're going to break it all down here on All Things Mavs. But let me tell you first exactly what the heck just happened. The Brooklyn Nets get James Harden from the obviously from the Houston Rockets. The Cleveland Cavaliers get involved as a third team in this one, and they pick up Taurean Prince and Jarrett Allen. The Houston Rockets get Karis LeVert, Dante Exum, Rodion Kurucs, 4 first-round picks, and 4 pick swaps from the Brooklyn Nets. But then Houston did something even crazier that just made my freaking world spin around, and they go out and flip Karis LeVert to the Indiana Pacers, and they get Victor Oladipo. I am mind blown at what the heck is going on right now. Now, obviously, Victor Oladipo is on an expiring contract, and meanwhile, Karis LeVert is still under contract for quite a long time. I think the next 4 years. So the Rockets were like, nah, we'll get Victor Oladipo. We'll see if he works out, and we'll just go from there. And I am completely just mind blown at this whole situation. I did not think this was going to happen as quickly as it did. And honestly, I thought that the 76ers were going to be the team to go out and get James Harden. But here we are, Harden headed to the Brooklyn Nets to play with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. As more comes up on my phone, I will continue to get you guys the updates. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me give some shout outs before I talk more about what's happening right now. AJ, Vincius, Vanix in the live chat, Sebastian, Antonio, Will. I see all y'all in the live chat right now. Almost 100 people watching on my first live stream ever here on All Things Mavs. Again, I didn't expect to go live today. I was probably going to go live on my nice camera that actually had a better picture than whatever this is right now. But hey, when breaking news happens, I'm going to get it to you. So really, the one team the Mavs have to worry about the most now, or the most concerned with, is the Houston Rockets. New roster: John Wall, Victor Oladipo, Eric Gordon, Christian Wood, DeMarcus Cousins, PJ Tucker, Daniel House, Ben McLemore, David Nwaba, Bruno Caboclo, Sterling Brown, Kenyon Martin Jr., and then they also go out and get Dante Exum, Rodion Kurucs, and of course their rookie Jay Sean Tate. So that new starting 5 is going to be John Wall, Victor Oladipo, who you guys know I love for our Dallas Mavericks, but now he's probably not going to get traded here, but he still could be eligible to become a free agent this next offseason. Christian Wood will be in the starting 5 along with DeMarcus Cousins. And then off the bench, they have PJ Tucker, Daniel House, and Ben McLemore. Now, this team definitely isn't as good as they were with James Harden. But chemistry-wise, if Victor Oladipo comes in, who's averaging 20 points per game right now, and kind of changes the landscape of the team, you never know if this team could take a jump in the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to. I don't know if they will. I don't know if they're going to be better, if they're going to be worse. All I know right now is that Victor Oladipo is now off the table for the Dallas Mavericks, and James Harden is out of the Southwest Division, which is good news for the Mavs that they don't have to face off against a star like Victor Oladipo, or like James Harden, excuse me. But remember, now you got to go up against Victor Oladipo and Eric Gordon, John Wall, Boogie, Christian Wood. And if that team comes in and they're ready to go chemistry-wise, this could be a better team than we ever saw with James Harden this past year. Now, I'm continuing to get the updates for you guys as we really get all the answers here. Adrian Wojnarowski just tweeted, Houston's GM Rafael Stone's return of picks, which by the way was 4 first-round picks and 4 pick swaps, is one of the strongest draft packages in league history. Oladipo is on an expiring contract, and the Rockets can make a decision on moving forward with him or not. Adrian Wojnarowski also tweeted, whatever the future of Kyrie Irving is with the Nets, this trade does one more important thing for Brooklyn. It makes a strong case to help keep the franchise's most important player, Kevin Durant, beyond his current contract. I am stunned at this deal. I'm happy that James Harden is out of the West, but I'm disappointed that Victor Oladipo is off the books for the Mavs. Now, this is my live stream version of this. I might do an entire video breakdown later on in the week about what this means for Dallas, what it means for their 2021 free agency hopes of Victor Oladipo, and what it could mean for them coming up on the trade deadline, because things are going to continue to change. But for the league as a whole, the Pacers, I don't know if I get this for the Pacers. I think right now their focus is on Domantas Sabonis. And Sabonis is honestly great. Oh, look, Karis LeVert is great too. And I think he's going to get a great opportunity in Indiana. But a team of Malcolm Brogdon, Karis LeVert, Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner, and TJ Warren kind of just screams mediocrity to me. They're all really good players, but they're all like the second or should be the second or like third best player on a championship team. And they're just not that right now. Now, before I go any further, I see 121 of you guys are watching with me right now, but I only see 20 likes on the video. If we get some more likes, I'd appreciate it. If not, I don't care. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I got Dallas Mavericks news for you all day, every day. Also follow me on Twitter at Jimmy_Crowther or at all_things_Mavs. Now, the Cavaliers, let's talk about them for a second. The Cleveland Cavaliers now have Andre Drummond, JaVale McGee, they just traded for Jared Allen, Kevin Love, and Larry Nance Jr. What the heck are the Cavs doing? Like, I do not understand what the Cavaliers are doing by acquiring all these big men. I don't know why the Cavs, look, I get it. They get Jared Allen. That's great. But, like, why even get involved in this deal if you're Cleveland? Unless you're going to turn around and flip one of Andre Drummond or JaVale McGee or maybe even Jared Allen. I don't really understand Cleveland's involvement in this. But listen, for Dallas, they've already faced off against the Houston Rockets one time, and they beat them, and that was with James Harden on board. Now they have to face off against the Houston Rockets 3 more times, and the Rockets aren't going to have Harden. They're going to have to adjust to a lineup of Oladipo, John Wall, Eric Gordon, Boogie Cousins, Christian Wood. Look, I get it. It's probably going to be a better fit chemistry-wise, but who's to say? What if Victor Oladipo says, I don't want to be here? What if Victor Oladipo gets out? What if Victor Oladipo is like, I'm done. I don't want to go to Houston. Are things really going to be better? And who's to say that, James Harden didn't already mess up that chemistry so bad in Houston that it doesn't even matter at this point? Like it could really not matter now. I mean, they could already be so down the drain that Houston's already gone. So, or kind of out the window. So I don't know. Crazy day here in the NBA, and I'm going to keep you guys updated as we go on. Let's get into the live chat and see what you guys are saying in the chat. Igor says Kleber's going to play the 4. Matt says Oladipo will walk. I think Oladipo will walk too. I agree. I don't think he'll be in Houston for the long haul. I would be surprised if he ends up re-signing this offseason, but who knows? Maybe things go great and he likes playing with John Wall. It's definitely possible. Alex says the Mavs should go for Beal now since Oladipo's unavailable. Look, Bradley Beal should be the number 1 target anyway for the Dallas Mavericks over Victor Oladipo. He's obviously better than Oladipo, but I just don't see a situation in which the Mavs have the really assets to go out and get Bradley Beal for the Washington Wizards. Boban says Mavs in 4 versus the Nets. Hey, sign me up. Also, I'm not convinced that the Nets are going to make the finals. This is a team that, yes, talent-wise, they should absolutely make it to the finals. But if we're being realistic, this team, chemistry-wise, is going to be a mess. Kyrie Irving's not showing up to games. He's missed 4 straight for personal reasons, which turned out to be his sister's birthday that he was just partying up in a club. Now they get James Harden, who was very unhappy in Houston, was a loudmouth about it. And yeah, he wanted to be in Brooklyn, but he also wanted Russell Westbrook on his team. And then he traded him. And then he wanted John Wall on his team. And then he forced a trade. And he wanted Chris Paul on his team. He forced a trade. So who's to say James Harden's going to show up to Brooklyn and everything's going to be all sunshine and rainbows? I don't believe that. I don't think it's actually realistic. I think Steve Nash has a really a big load on his hands now that he has to deal with. That's just not going to happen. Andrew says, what happens with Kyrie? I think Kyrie's going to stay. I think now maybe he wants to be there, but in all honesty, I'm not really sure what's going to happen with Kyrie. I'd be surprised if things are, again, sunshine and rainbows with Kyrie Irving. Jose says the Mavs should call about Jared Allen, trade picks, and Dwight Powell. He could even be used for Beal in the future. Look, I'm going to be honest. Picks and Dwight Powell are not going to get you Jared Allen. I think Cleveland traded for Jared Allen in order to go out and trade away Andre Drummond or JaVale McGee. We'll see what happens. AJ says, what can we realistically trade to get Bradley Beal? I'm not sure the Mavs have a realistic offer for Bradley Beal. I think it would have to be a 3-team trade. Some other team would have to get involved, and I don't know who that team would be at the moment. I think, you could see – obviously, Tim would have to be included. Jalen Brunson likely would have to be included. I would say, probably Josh Green, and then your 2025 first-round pick plus probably Maxey and maybe a Dorian. And, even then, I don't know if the Wizards are willing to do that. Mo says, why can't the Mavs make a move for a third guy like Bradley Beal? Just talked about that. They don't have the assets. Marcus says, the Nets are a super team. They absolutely are, but they could also be a super disaster. Marcus says he's been a Nets fan for 12 years. Marcus, boy, that's a long time to be a Nets fan. So, hey, if you're happy, let me know. Garava Jaha says, can the Mavs trade for PJ Tucker? Trade idea for PJ Tucker. I don't think he wants to get traded now. I think his problem was being with James Harden, or, his other problem was also the fact that, in all honesty, he's not getting a contract extension. And I think if you're going to trade for PJ Tucker, you're probably going to have to include a Maxi Kleba or a Dorian Finney-Smith, because the Rockets obviously want to stay in contention now that they have Victor Oladipo on hand. Landon says, hashtag Giannis to Dallas. That dream has died. David says, Jim Bob. What's up, David? Appreciate you tuning in. Matt says, what do you think about a LaVine trade? Honestly, again, Zach LaVine is really good too. I don't think the Mavs have the assets to pull that one off. William, says, I think the Mavs will be very active in the buyout market this year. I agree. I just don't know who's going to get bought out. I'll keep an eye on it and let you guys know really what happens. Hey, over 300 people watching on my first live stream. Let me let everyone know right now that's tuned in to this live stream. This kind of grainy setup that I know isn't very high quality right now is not my normal setup. Usually I've got a pretty nice camera that makes me look all prettier than I actually am. And I've got my nice mic set up and my camera's actually at eye level. But right now, I didn't have all that set up for this live stream. I just wanted to get live as fast as possible because this is huge news in the NBA. So if you are new to the channel, please subscribe, give this live stream a like, and we'll keep the videos coming for you. Sports Central says, keep him Porzingis. Yeah, of course. They're not going to trade Kristaps Porzingis for really anyone. I mean, the only person I would trade Porzingis for right now, realistically, is Giannis, and I don't think they would actually happen. The Big Dog says, trade for Miles Turner. Miles Turner has been killing it on defense right now. He's leading the league, I think, in blocked shots per game. And in all honesty, I don't think the Nets or the Pacers are looking to trade him. BB says, your prediction for today's game, will KP play? Yes, Kristaps Porzingis is going to play in tonight's game against the Charlotte Hornets. I'm predicting a Dallas Maverick win. I do think the Mavs will win this game tonight because I think the injection of Porzingis into the lineup will give them some new energy and some new life. Lander says, what do you think about signing Lonzo Ball? I wouldn't hate it, but I think they'd have to lose a point guard or two first. They have Luka. They have Trey Burke. They have Jalen Brunson. They have Tyrell Terry. If you sign Lonzo, Tyrell Terry will never, ever play. Jalen Brunson will probably rarely play, or Lonzo will be signing on to be a backup. And in all honesty, I could see Lonzo just being a DeLon Wright 2.0 in Dallas. I just don't think that's something he'd be interested in. William says, John Collins. I wish. I would love John Collins, but only if they got rid of Dwight Powell. Sports Central says, would you trade for Porzingis for Jokic? Oh, don't hate me. Don't hate me. But the answer is yes. I mean, you have to say yes, right? Because Nikola Jokic is the best center in the NBA. I would trade Porzingis for Jokic. Jag says, trade for Trae Young. Igor says, I want Tyrell to play today. I do too. But if he does play, it probably means something went wrong with the guard lineup. But, hey, if the Mavs go up by 20 or something like that, sure, sign me up. Well, Meek says, what about a trade for Kyle Lowry for the Dallas Mavericks? I might do a whole trade video. If you guys want me, how about this? I have over 360 people watching right now. Thank all of y'all that are tuning in. If you want me to do a trade mailbag video, just type me in the live chat. And if I see enough me's, maybe I'll do one either probably early next week, but only if I see enough people that say they actually want it, because right now I don't really know if that's what somebody wants. Oscar says Kyrie for Westbrook. I think both teams say no. I think Kyrie says no too. Kyrie doesn't want to go to DC. Nashi says trade Luka. Yeah, right. So if you're just now tuning in, because I've seen a lot of new people are coming into the chat and you are obviously new to the channel. If you are new to the channel and you're just now tuning in, hit that like on this video, the big thumbs up button, and make sure you subscribe as well. But I want to break down the trade that just happened. By the way, I see a lot of y'all that actually want a trade video. So yeah, I'll do a trade video. Let's see. All right, so here's the trade that just happened. Here's why I'm live right now instead of just my normally scheduled videos. Brooklyn gets James Harden to put next to Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. The Cleveland Cavaliers get involved as the third team. They receive Taurean Prince and Jarrett Allen. The Houston Rockets got Dante Exum, Rodion Kurucs, and 4 first-round picks along with 4 pick swaps. They also got Karis LeVert from the Brooklyn Nets, but they shipped out Karis LeVert and brought in Victor Oladipo. So Oladipo gets sent to Houston, and Karis LeVert is going to Indiana. So the new starting 5 in Houston is John Wall, Eric Gordon, Christian Wood, DeMarcus Cousins, and Victor Oladipo. Did I say that right? I think I did. And then off the bench, you have guys like PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon, Ben McLemore, Daniel House, David Nwaba, Jayshawn Tate, Rodion Kurucs, Kenyon Martin, Sterling Brown, maybe Dante Exum if he ever gets healthy. The GOAT Boss says, Woj bomb, Kyrie's been traded to Chicago. Not true. DeGoat, that is just fake news, straight up. That is not true at all. That is not what's happening. That is not the case. Kyrie has not been traded to Chicago. If it happens, don't worry. I will do a video on it. But here's the thing. We're going to talk about how this affects the Dallas Mavericks because, of course, this is the All Things Mavs channel. And I know a lot of you guys are like, okay, well, how does this affect Dallas? The 2 biggest things that this trade with James Harden going to Brooklyn and Oladipo going to Houston does for the Mavs is, number one, it knocks the Rockets down a tier lower, basically. Look, Houston is probably going to be better off chemistry-wise with James Harden out of the, off the team now. It just makes sense. But in all honesty, you still have to adjust. And Oladipo is not as good as James Harden. I don't care what anybody says. It's obviously not true. Yeah, maybe he brings more chemistry and defensively he's better, but he's not even anywhere near James Harden's skill level. Now, the other thing it does for Dallas is it takes them out of the running for Victor Oladipo because I do think the Mavs were going to have some interest in Victor Oladipo around the trade deadline. And obviously, I don't think Houston's going to look to swap him anytime soon. I think they will keep him on board. They'll see what he does with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins. And if he doesn't work out, then he's a free agent in 2021 and he can go wherever he likes. So to all over 500 people watching, hey, over 500 people, surely I can get at least 200 likes on this video. So if you haven't liked this stream yet, please get that thumbs up. The reason it helps me when you hit the thumb up is that it tells YouTube, hey, we're watching this stream and we're enjoying it and we think he's doing a good job. Or if you don't think I'm doing a good job, that's fine too. But again, my first live stream ever on this channel, already over 500 people watching. Thank you guys for watching. And trust me, the next time I go live, I'll have my webcam set up where it's better quality and it's not just, it looks like I'm just like a homeless dude with a bad mustache talking in front of a camera. Now let's get back into the live chat. Smart says he likes his home and the Warriors are in California. I actually don't know who he's talking about there. Big Time B-Ball says, hello, Mr. Jim. Hello, Big Time B-Ball. Thank you for tuning in. Smart Car says, I think Kawhi will stay in LA. I think he will too. Smart Car also says Drummond and Porzingis won't fit. I agree. I don't want Kristaps Porzingis on this team. It's a no from me. I don't want Andre Drummond on this team. I do want Kristaps Porzingis. I don't want Andre Drummond on this team. Andrew says, get Jimmy to 2,000 subscribers. Thank you, Andrew. And while you say that, I'm actually going to check in on my subscriber count and see what we're at right now and see what we finish at. Reyes says, Jimmy's the GOAT. Y'all are showing me too much love today. I appreciate it. Wamik, I see you. David says, why not get LeVert instead of Oladipo to rebuild? If you're talking about who, I'm not sure I think you're talking about the Rockets. I don't think the Rockets want to rebuild. Right now, the Rockets are interested in staying competitive, and obviously, they're going to try their best to do so. I see Antonio says true. James says yo. Wamik says Vucevic to the Mavs. No, not going to happen. Ari says, what's the lineup for Brooklyn? So for the Brooklyn Nets now, you have James Harden, you have Kyrie Irving, and you have Kevin Durant. You know those three are going to be in the starting five. Duh, Jimmy, the most obvious thing in the world. Other than that, now DeAndre Jordan is your full-time starter, who's a downgrade from Jared Allen. As Mavs fans know all too well, Jared Allen or DeAndre Jordan is not what he once was. But your fifth guy, I think it's probably Joe Harris at this point. I think that makes the most sense. So you go Kyrie, Harden, Joe Harris, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Jordan. Talent-wise, that team should win a lot of games. Chemistry-wise, I think they could completely blow up. Not going to lie, I wouldn't be surprised if that team doesn't last the entire season. Now, go over to Cleveland, who is also involved in this trade. They get Torrey Prince, and they get Jared Allen. I don't know what the heck their starting five is. Do they start Jared Allen over Andre Drummond? Do they start Jared Allen over whoever their power forward is and Kevin Love? Do they bench? I don't know what they do. Do they trade Drummond? Are the Mavs interested in Drummond now? What do you guys think? Should the Mavs trade for Drummond? I say no, but maybe you guys think they should. And then for the Indiana Pacers, now the Pacers are looking at Malcolm Brogdon, Karis LeVert, TJ Warren, DeMontis Sabonis, and Miles Turner. That's a really, really good team, but it's a whole lot of, second or third options when you're looking for a championship option. Wamik says this is a risk for Brooklyn chemistry-wise. I 100% agree. I don't think it's going to work chemistry-wise, but talent-wise, they have no excuse not to win it all. Let's see. If you got any more questions, keep the questions coming. I'm going to answer all of them. I see over 600 people watching right now. Hey, if you're new to All Things Mavs, thank you for tuning in. I promise my next live stream and all my other videos are way better quality than this one. This is just an emergency live video, so I had to break it down. Android says if we need rebounding, there really is no one better than Andre Drummond. So, true, but also, Andre Drummond just doesn't have a very positive effect on the game. He puts up big numbers. He always has. When he was in Detroit, now that he's in Cleveland, he's always had big numbers, but he's never been able to help a team win. It's just the honest truth, and I don't think he'd be a good fit in Dallas. Elijah says the Rockets should get Jared Allen. Well, they could have in this trade, but they opted to bring in a third team, and that's why they don't have Jared Allen. Jason says, how would you feel if you were a Rockets? Or Jaron says, how would you feel if you're a Rockets fan? Pretty good. Pretty darn good. If it was just Karis LeVert, I probably wouldn't have felt as good. But 4 first-round picks and 4 pick swaps, that's pretty amazing if you ask me. Also, I like Victor Oladipo a lot. I don't know if he's going to stay in Houston, but I'd feel pretty good replacing James Harden with him. Big Time B-Ball says, Jimmy, did you get a haircut? I did get a haircut. Thank you for noticing. I'm not taking off my hat, though, because I just worked out and my hair is disgusting. Manuel says, Beal would make us an elite. Yeah, he would, but the Mavs don't have the package to get Bradley Beal. Turbo says they got 8 first-round picks. In a way, yes, they did. So they go and get 4 pick swaps, which basically means if their pick isn't as good as whatever Brooklyn's pick will be, they can offer to swap that anytime they want. And then they got 4 unprotected first-round picks, which means they automatically get Brooklyn's first-round picks. Hey, let's talk about something here. The last time the Brooklyn Nets went out and traded all their draft picks, traded away all future assets to get Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and Jason Terry from Boston, you remember what happened? That's what happened. They weren't good. And then not having those draft picks absolutely killed them. So I don't think this is the same because Pierce and KG and Jason Terry were at that point, but there's definitely some big question marks around what this does for the Brooklyn Nets. Mike Jones says Mavs should get Buddy or Zach LaVine. Buddy would be easier to get. Zach LaVine would be the better player, but Buddy Hield might be a better fit based on shooting. Mike Jones says they were 34 years old. Yeah, Mike, I know. I'm not saying, James Harden is Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, but it's definitely concerning. Andrew says Brooklyn will not win a championship with this core. Steve says, love your show. Wasting Anthony Simons' talent in Portland. Your thoughts? I wouldn't say they're wasting it. They're being patient with him, but they might be a little too patient. Steve, I appreciate you saying you love the show. If you love the show like Steve, give this stream a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. When I started this stream, I had 1,810 subscribers. I'm at 1,863. Appreciate all you guys. Make sure you subscribe today. Pinstripe says, what do you think the Celtics should do? In all honesty, I don't really know. I think the Celtics are okay. They're just sick right now. Everybody is sick for that team. So I don't really think the Celtics are too worried about going out and getting players right now. They're just trying to get their own players healthy. By the way, I'm going to put the subscribe link in the chat. So if you guys could click that link, it would be a huge help to me. Over 400 people watching. Make sure you like the video if you haven't already. So if you're just now tuning into the stream, because I see over 480 people watching, let's break down exactly what happened in this trade. Brooklyn got James Harden to pair next to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn. Cleveland got involved as a third team, and they went out and got Taurean Prince and Jarrett Allen from the Brooklyn Nets. Meanwhile, the Houston Rockets went out and got Karis LeVert, Dante Exum, Rodion Kurucs, 4 first-round picks, and 4 pick swaps. But then they went out and did something even crazier. They traded Karis LeVert to the Indiana Pacers and brought back Victor Oladipo in a move that nobody expected. So who do you think won this trade? Let me know in the live chat, and you guys can vote this way. I'll tell you, I'm going to type it out, and you guys can vote. B equals Brooklyn. H equals Houston. C equals Cleveland. And then I equals Indiana. So the Pacers went out and got Karis LeVert, and they traded Victor Oladipo. So type your votes. I want to see who actually you think won this trade. I mean, hypothetically, it should be Brooklyn because they got the best player, right? In James Harden. But if we're talking straight up, like who came out with the best value, Houston got 4 first-round picks, 4 pick swaps, and Victor Oladipo out of this thing. That's pretty freaking good. So let me shout out your votes right now. Ari says the Rockets. BB says the Pacers. Android says Houston. Ari says Houston. Andrew says says B. Brooklyn. I'm stupid. V says Houston. I see Brooklyn, Houston, Cleveland, Brooklyn, Indiana. A few Indianas now rolling in. A lot of Indianas rolling in now. So I guess you guys think Indiana won this one? That's interesting. I think the Pacers did a good job of getting Karis LeVert and kind of got him locked up for a young team, but I don't think they won the trade. That's a little outlandish if you ask me. I wouldn't quite say Indiana. I see the Dallas Mavs in there. I see Rosewood says 8 picks for Houston. Ralph says Houston. And Andrew says the picks will likely be into the first round because Victor Oladipo won't re-sign. Yeah, that might be true. And then Gary says the Lakers. What? No, Gary. The Lakers aren't involved in this one. So appreciate all y'all tuning into this live stream. Again, this is not going to be normally how I do my live streams. I'll have a better camera setup. I will definitely be a little bit more updated. I see ISO Highlight says, Jimmy, can you tell Chat Sports to make a Bulls channel? If you guys are coming here to look for Chat Sports, I am no longer affiliated with them. This is me going completely solo. So if you want to help support me, you can do 2 things, actually. You can send me a super chat, which would be honestly a huge help right now. If you guys are enjoying the stream and you're watching, I will give some big-time shout-outs to anybody that sends a super chat because I will love you forever if you do that in the live chat. If not, and you just want to keep going here, hey, that works too. And just keep watching. Just subscribe and like the video. That's 2 easy ways to continue to support me. Benjamin says, will the Nets keep Kyrie Irving? I think so. I think they have to, but he's really dramatic, and I'm really tired of him. I'm going to be honest. Benjamin says, JN says, Jimmy, you left Chat Sports. I did. I'm not going to talk about that anymore, but this is my own channel now, so if you want to support me, appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe and you like the video. Smart says, do you think the 76ers are idiots for not letting James Harden because of wanting to keep Tyrese Maxey and Tybal? Honestly, no. I think Philly is smart for not giving up that much. They would have had to give up Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, and then 8 first-round picks, basically. And the Nets didn't give that much up. So I think Philly's actually smart for this one. Now, again, if you're just now tuning in, over 490 of you, I'm going to recap the trade at least one more time. I might go live here for about 45 minutes. Also, I just realized Super Chat is not an option in the live chat because my channel is not monetized yet. So I'm doing this completely free. So if you're watching and you're having fun, just subscribe and like the video. If you're already subscribed, let me know by typing me in the live chat. It's an easy way to let me know that you're supporting me. But let's recap this trade real fast. And as I say the teams, let me know who you think won this one. Brooklyn goes out and they get the superstar in James Harden. Houston gets Karis LeVert, Dante Exum, Rodion Kurucs, 4 first-round picks, and 4 pick swaps from Brooklyn. And then the Cleveland Cavaliers get involved as a third team, and they get Taurean Prince and Jared Allen. Now, Houston turned around, and I think did the craziest thing of the day by swapping Karis LeVert and picking up Victor Oladipo. So the new Houston lineup is going to be John Wall, Victor Oladipo, Eric Gordon, Christian Wood, and Boogie Cousins. It's a pretty good 5. Now, how does that affect the Dallas Mavericks? They got to face Houston 3 more times. And here's the thing. Houston got better chemistry-wise, but they're going to have to figure out some way to make all this work really fast. They're not going to be able to adjust to Victor Oladipo the way that you just plug in James Harden and ask him to play right away. It just doesn't work like that. So crazy day here in the NBA. I'll continue to bring, all the updates. We'll do a little Q&A here in the live chat. Appreciate you guys that have tuned in. If you haven't already, please like this stream and subscribe. I'm putting the link in the live chat, and if you just click it, it's a really easy thing to do. So if you have subscribed, type me in the live chat. I'll give you some shout outs here as I take a quick little water break. But if you've already subscribed to my channel, if you're one of over 1,800 that have, just type me. Let me know that you subscribed. Conrad, I see you in the chat. Sports Central, I see you in the chat. Smart Car says, who's winning the finals, the Lakers or the Nets? I'm going to take the Lakers. I think chemistry-wise, they're just going to be better off than the Nets. Asurs says, I love you, Jimmy. Love you, too. ISO says, can you make a Bulls channel? I'm trying to focus on this one, and then maybe I'll expand. Josh says, been subscribed. Appreciate you, Josh. Alex says, the Lakers lost this trade. I don't think so. Alex says, the Nets got this. Andrew says, as an MFFL, I always love relishing in the Rockets imploding. Yeah, me too. Wes says, are you an NFL fan? I am. Sadly, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. That's not going real well. Flame says Rockets did the best for the situation. I actually agree with that. I don't like applauding the Rockets for anything they do, but I do think they did a good job of getting as much as they could out of a guy that's clearly not happy. Dallas Mavs says, what podcast do you listen to for the Mavs? I love Locked On Mavs by Nick Angstead and Isaac Harris. Those are my guys. And then also the Step Back podcast and my own that I do here on YouTube. William says, how do you feel about the Mavs moving for Zach LaVine? I don't think they have the pieces to do it. If they could do it, I'd be all for it. I know some people don't like the fit, but if he's willing to be a third option, yeah, he should absolutely. Antonio says, Jimmy, you're the best. I appreciate you, Antonio. So let me recap this one more time, and then I think I'm going to get out of here unless enough people say stay in the live chat, then I'll stay for a little bit longer. Brooklyn traded for James Harden. Cleveland got involved as a third team, traded for Taurean Prince and Jared Allen. Houston gets Karis LeVert, Dante Exum, Rodion Kurucs, and 8 draft picks, basically 4 regular picks and 4 pick swaps from the Brooklyn Nets. And then they traded Karis LeVert to the Indiana Pacers for Victor Oladipo. Absolute madness. And now the Mavs, one of their division rivals in the Houston Rockets, is taking a little bit of a step back, but their chemistry might have taken a step forward. Dallas will face Houston 3 more times, I believe, this year before the end of the 2021 season. And when that happens, tell you what, it's going to be a very different looking team than the team the Mavs already beat one time. I see a lot of people say stay. So I'll stay a little bit longer. I'll answer a few more questions if you guys get me to 200 likes, because I'm at 198. Can't imagine why I haven't got 200. So let's get to 200 likes. Let's make that happen. And when that happens, I'll answer some questions here on Q&A. Also, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that big red subscribe button. Let me update the subscriber count for you guys. Currently, 1,862 subscribers. I would be willing to bet all the money in the world that not all 450 of you guys tuning in right now are subscribed. So you can click that channel right there or click that link right there, and that'll make you basically automatically subscribe to All Things Mavs if you haven't already. All right, let's check out some questions. I'll take a few questions, and then I'm going to get out of here and prepare for Mavs versus Hornets, because we do have a Mavs game tonight. Despite all this craziness, at 6 p.m. Central Time, the Mavs will face off against the Hornets, and then I will do a post-game podcast for that one. So we're going like 2 videos in a day, basically, with this live stream. So you're welcome. All right, Benjamin says the Rockets get defense. Arvind says, why isn't the league doing anything about the Kyrie situation? They're looking into it. They're definitely, I think he will get a pretty hefty fine, and We'll see what happens. Alex says, do you think Harden will now be super motivated to be his best to get a ring? No, I don't think he will be. I'm sorry. I just don't think he will be. Daniel says, do you think we still have a shot at Oladipo in free agency? Yes, especially if he finds out he likes Texas. Imagine going from Houston to Dallas. It's 100 times better. I'm just saying. ISO says, Jimmy, please make a Denver Nuggets channel. I love the Nuggets. Maybe one day after this one grows enough. Tan says, I subscribe. Tan, thank you. If you want to be like Tan and get a shout out and a subscription, click that link I just put in the live chat. Nam says, Ben subscribed. I love you. Thank you. Maddie says, Mavs can now finally get Drummond and Larry Nance Jr. I'd rather have Larry Nance Jr. than Andre Drummond. I'm just saying. C-Boy says, Kyrie did not get traded. He is still on the Brooklyn Nets. Don't know where he's going to go. Don't know if he's going to ever come back and play. He's already missed 4 games. We'll see what happens next. Andrew says, the biggest Mavs surprise. Honestly, it's a good question. What's been the biggest Mavs surprise so far? I think I've been most surprised by the fact that, honestly, that Porzingis is coming back as early as he is. I kind of thought he would come back in February, and here he is now in January. Alex says 2K subs before February. Oh, that's easy money. I better have 2,000 subs before the fourth week of January. Michael says, Jimmy, just subscribed. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you. Sports Central says, when will the Mavs win a title? Either next year or the year after. I say within the next 3 years, the Mavs will have a ring on their finger. Robert says Lakers versus Rockets. No thanks. Let's see. Guillermo says, I'm from Brazil. Appreciate you tuning in, Guillermo, all the way from Brazil. Tell all your friends to subscribe as well. Andrew says, biggest Mavs surprise. Just answered you on that one. Michael says, how do you rate our chances for today's game? I think Dallas is going to do pretty good. They have a revamped lineup now with Kristaps Porzingis. It's going to be a fun game to watch. Even if they lose, I'm just excited to watch KP play again. Lucas says, what do you think the Rick should do to guard this new Nets and Rockets squad? Ooh, good question, Rick. Or Lucas. I think against Brooklyn, man, you throw Dorian Finney-Smith on Kevin Durant. You throw Josh Richardson on James Harden. And then I guess Tim Hardaway Jr. on Kyrie. It's probably your best option. Maddie says, is Drummond now available in trade? He might be, but I don't want him in Dallas. Michael says, how do you rate our chances? Just answered that one. Sorry. GV says, I subscribe. Appreciate you, GV. Robert says, do you think the LA championship is in trouble? I would still pick LA over Brooklyn personally. Josh says, Willie Cauley-Stein's play has been surprising. See, I'm not that surprised by it. I'm happy with it, and I honestly expected it. I think he deserves this. Couple more questions. Karate says your t-shirt's rather interesting. Look, it's Dirk. The final evolution is Dirk. I don't believe in evolution, but hey, that's that. And then Lucas says, do you think Oladipo will be traded from the Rockets? Not traded. I think he will walk in free agency. And then finally, Dallas Mavs says, do you think KP will be rusty? Yes, I think there's going to be a little bit of rust to knock off, but I still think he's going to be a really good player. I think he's going to be just fine. I'm not worried about him. I'm just excited to see him back on the floor. Now, if you're a Mavs fan, if you're an NBA fan in general, whatever you are, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Help me hit 2,000. Make sure you like this live stream. Appreciate you guys tuning in to this very random live stream that I did not plan. Eventually, I'll be doing regular live streams every single week to be taking your questions about the Dallas Mavericks and about the NBA as a whole. I'm planning on probably doing those on, I would say, either Tuesdays or Thursdays, TBD on when that will be. And when it does happen next, I promise I will have a clearer picture and not this grainy webcam footage. So please make sure you subscribe. I'm putting the link in the live chat a few times so that you guys don't miss it. It's all right there. I'll even pin it so that you guys can make sure you click it. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you like the stream, subscribe, and as always, you guys know what I'm about to say. If you know what I'm about to say, put it in the live chat. Let's see the first one that says it. As always, first one to put it in the live chat. I'm going to give you a shout out, but I haven't seen it yet. I see William says, what do you want to see the Mavs go after the most? Top 3 players? I'm not going to answer that. But you guys know how I end all my videos. So if you shout it out, I'll give you a shout out here before we go. Yep, there it is. Andrew says, and as always, go Mavs, baby. Lucas got it right. See you guys later. Post-game podcast coming tonight after the Charlotte game.